Hello, friends! Just before this grand final match of the 2026 Tri-Nation A Series to be played between India A and Sri Lanka A, a historic, catastrophic, and goosebump-inducing cyclone hit the practice ground, leaving the entire cricketing world completely shell-shocked. Someone truly said that the silence before the storm is the most dangerous, and something very similar was witnessed today at the Dambulla Net practice ground. Just a few hours before the main showdown of the grand final, Team India's 15-year-old wonder boy, Vaibhav Suryavanshi'S, ripped apart and dismantled the opposition bowlers during the practice match in such a way that the entire cricketing fraternity is now terrified of his name. In today's practice session, Vaibhav Suryavanshi'S achieved something that no batsman in the history of cricket had ever even dreamed of. Unleashing a ferocious tsunami of boundaries all across the ground, he smashed a whopping 450 runs within just a few overs, scripting an immortal history that has now become an impossible dream for anyone else to break. As soon as the news of this fierce carnage and bloodthirsty knock of 450 runs from Vaibhav Suryavanshi'S bat in the practice match broke out, a terrible dread and pin-drop silence spread across the Sri Lanka A camp even before the actual game. Captain Tilak Varma himself and all the senior players of the team were left stunned, looking at Vaibhav's aggression. In today's special, extremely long, and completely high-voltage video, we are going to show you how Vaibhav Suryavanshi'S storm completely destroyed all of Sri Lanka's strategies just before the final, during the practice session. We will tell you how many balls Vaibhav faced, how many skyscraping maximums he hit, and how he shocked legends like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli by touching this miraculous figure of 450 runs. So make sure to watch the video with full enthusiasm right until the very end. And if you are also happy with this fierce storm of Vaibhav and are a true hardcore fan of Team India, then do give this video a lovely like right now with full energy, friends. But friends, before moving ahead in this blockbuster and sensational report, what do all you passionate cricket fans truly feel? Will Vaibhav Suryavanshi'S, who created a fierce carnage of 450 runs in the practice match, be able to turn the Sri Lanka A bowlers into ghosts in the final match in the exact same way? Do share your valuable, unbiased, and completely bold opinion down below in the community box with us very clearly by typing Vaibhav 450 Storm or Future Indian Legend. Talking about the practice session and this warm-up match, when the Indian team stepped onto the practice ground of Dambulla's historic Rangiri International Stadium to prepare for the final, the atmosphere was completely intense. Captain Tilak Varma decided to bat first after the toss process, so that the batsmen could understand the behavior of the pitch thoroughly before the final. For India, as usual, catastrophic opener Priyansh Arya and young sensation Vaibhav Suryavanshi'S walked out to the crease to open the innings. In the first 2 overs, Sri Lanka's net bowlers capitalized on the domestic conditions and bowled tight swing bowling, because of which both batsmen took a little time to read the pitch. But friends, we all know that wonder boy Vaibhav Suryavanshi'S absolutely dislikes staying quiet or playing defensively and slowly on the field for too long. From the very beginning of the 3rd over of the innings, the furious avatar of wonder boy Vaibhav Suryavanshi'S was seen on the Dambulla ground, which transformed this ordinary-looking practice match into a historic and bloodthirsty battle. Reading the pace of Sri Lanka's main fast bowler, Vaibhav targeted him directly and hit such a magnificent, crisp, sharp, and picturesque classic boundary over covers that the ball went past the boundary line like a speeding bullet. Before the bowler could even recover, Vaibhav used his magical and aggressive footwork on the very next ball to shock him, sending the spinning ball tearing through the sky over long on into the stands for a sky-scraping maximum. Right from here, friends, the real bloodthirsty and destructive storm of Vaibhav Suryavanshi'S began on this beautiful ground of Dambulla, which showed no signs of stopping. Taking Sri Lanka's mystery spinners and fast bowlers on a public remand, he unleashed a fierce rain of boundaries in every single corner of the ground and completed a crisp, blazing half-century within just 30 balls. After crossing the half-century mark, Vaibhav's avatar on the field became even more bloodthirsty, merciless, and aggressive. At times, he was bending down behind the wickets to play magical ramp and scoop shots, while at other times he was using his exceptional wrist work on the leg side to flick the ball, unleashing a flurry of boundaries. The Sri Lankan captain placed several clever fielders on the boundary line and made major fielding changes, but against the fierce onslaught of a completely set Vaibhav, every single strategy of theirs was proving to be a public failure and completely ineffective. Vaibhav brought such a fierce storm of boundaries on the field that facing just 52 balls, he completed his most exceptional and record-breaking century of this tournament. Once the century was completed, Vaibhav's bat started wielding like a sword and began spitting fire on the field. Following this, he made the opposition team's main and most experienced spinners his primary target, and reading their turning deliveries, he smashed 4 consecutive maximums into the sky in a single over, creating an atmosphere of sheer terror in the Afghan and Sri Lankan camps. In no time, such a cyclone and tsunami of runs arrived all around the ground that Vaibhav Suryavanshi's completely pushed the opposition bowlers on the back foot, completing his historic and magical double century within just 98 balls. Witnessing this miraculous innings, the entire dugout and the Indian coaching staff present there stood up, continuously clapping for the unbelievable talent of this 15-year-old boy. Meanwhile, opening batsman Priyansh Arya, standing at the other end, had departed to the pavilion after scoring 62 runs, and captain Tilak Varma had also gotten out for 48 runs. But today, Vaibhav was batting in completely different iron-willed mood. After smashing the double century, he shifted his gear in T20 style and began tearing the bowlers apart publicly, sending their balls beyond the boundary. The hunger for runs on the field had increased to such an extent that facing just 135 balls, Vaibhav also crossed the magical and historic triple century mark of 300 runs. Every single player, coach, and big cricket pundit sitting in the stadium was completely shocked and amazed looking at this magical sight, wondering how this 15-year-old boy was mercilessly and boldly hammering international-level senior bowlers on the field. But friends, the real historic carnage was witnessed in the final 15 overs of the innings, when Vaibhav Suryavanshi crossed the 350 and then even the 400-run mark. His catastrophic storm continued relentlessly. Such a fierce destruction of boundaries took place on the field that facing a total of 188 balls, Vaibhav Suryavanshi smashed an immortal, unbelievable, and magical innings of a glorious 450 runs, which included 42 beautiful boundaries and a whopping 26 skyscraping maximums. On the back of this magical innings, Vaibhav Suryavanshi completely demolished many massive and long-standing record books in cricket history. Ultimately, after such a long and aggressive batting display, Vaibhav Suryavanshi had to return to the pavilion retired hurt himself due to complete exhaustion after this historic innings of 450 runs. By the end of the day's play, the Indian team, riding on this mega storm from Vaibhav, posted a massive and mountain-like historic score of 535 runs for the loss of 4 wickets in the designated overs. This catastrophic innings of 450 runs from Vaibhav Suryavanshi has completely shattered the confidence of the Sri Lanka A team even before the final match, and has caused a massive stir in the entire cricketing world. In his superb batting, the classic technique of the god of cricket, Sachin Tendulkar, the iron-willed confidence of King Virat Kohli, and the fearless aggression of hitman Rohit Sharma were clearly visible. Today, Vaibhav once again proved to the world that age is just a number, and he is completely ready to hunt down Sri Lanka in the final. So, my lovely and most passionate cricket fans of the country, what is your personal and bold opinion on this historic 450-run mega storm of Vaibhav in the practice match before the final? Do you think Vaibhav is ready to take the place of Rohit and Virat in the senior team very soon? Do write your valuable and unbiased opinion down below in the community box with us very clearly by typing Vaibhav 450 Storm or Future Indian Legend. And for every such explosive, strategic, and goosebump-inducing moment-to-moment live inside update of the 2026 Tri-Nation A-Series Grand Final match, subscribe to our channel right now, and absolutely do not forget to hit the bell icon. I will meet you in another such wonderful video. Until then, take full care of yourself and your family. Thank you. Jai Hind.